So I believe we are live. Hi everyone, welcome to yet another Diabesties panel discussion. This is something very important to us. Let me quickly introduce myself. My name is Deeksha and I'm the Director of Advocacy and Experiences at the Diabesties Foundation, and I've been living with type 1 for the last 23 years. With me is Rasmeet, who is our project associate, and she'll introduce herself in a minute. So ये पैनल आज का हमारे लिए बहुत ज़्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट है because the theme of Feb at Diabetes Foundation is right to respect. When we talk about right to respect, especially in context of type 1 diabetes, we have seen that, because of the stigma associated with type 1 diabetes, a lot of people forget that we are also human beings. I know a lot of my peers, a lot of my colleagues, a lot of my community members, a lot of my T1D fellows, diabetes have somewhere been bullied or not given the respect that they were supposed to be by their peers because they were living with a chronic condition, or they are living with a chronic condition rather. And that is something that we are not okay with. But today we present you with stories of resistance. That's what when I heard all the stories, that's what I thought in my head, that these are stories of resistance where they demanded respect or was supported by their peers or their family, professionally or for personal decisions. And that's why their stories are so powerful, and they actually help us to demand and keep our rights where they should be. So with that, welcome to Perspective, which is a panel discussion on owning your choices while living with type 1 diabetes. We have a few caregivers as well with us today. So they also have made choices in context of type 1 diabetes, which will be extremely, it will be extremely interesting to hear. So can we have the next slide, please? So meet our panel. We have Daksh Munro. So he is living with type 1 and he's a bodybuilder. He believes that type 1 is a self-managing condition and you need to understand and learn how to manage your body, manage your routine. And welcome, Daksh, to the panel. We are really glad to have you here today. Next slide, please. We have Shanmukha today. So Shanmukha also works with us at Diabesties Foundation, and he was diagnosed at the age of 9. Shanmukha's story is very powerful because he made a choice which was very unconventional, and he'd like to share that with us today. So thank you, Shanmukha, for joining us today. Can we have the next slide, please? We have Kanak. You must have seen Kanak in a lot of our CC events. Kanak is living with type 1 diabetes, is married to a person living with type 1 diabetes, and is a mother to a very cute child, Jayadish, who is also living with type 1 diabetes. So she believes that against all odds, she is happy and spreading happiness and awareness about living with diabetes. So Kanak, welcome and thank you for sparing time to join us today. Lastly, we have Monica. Now, Monica is not living with type 1, but she made a choice and she stood by it to, to marry somebody living with type 1 diabetes. She is from Tamil Nadu. And yeah, Monica, thank you so much for joining us today. So, we would like to talk about their perspectives about how they have, against all the odds, demanded, asserted their right to respect. So if everyone can turn on their cameras. And Rasmeet, over to you. Please introduce yourself and you can take it forward from here.
Thank you so much, Dikshadi. Hi, everyone. My name is Rasmeet, and I have been living with type 1 diabetes from the last 13 years. And I welcome you all to the panel discussion that we have today. So, firstly, beginning, we would like to know from everyone, like, what is respect? So, respect is a word which has a very objective meaning, yet has a subjective opinion and has a subjective meaning for everyone, for each one of us who are here and who have joined us. So, starting with all our panelists, I would like to know what is respect for you? What is the meaning of respect for all of you? So we'll begin with Daksh.
Yeah, so hi everyone. For me, respect is like अगर लोग आपको सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं आपके प्रोफेशन में, आपके पैशन में, या आपको हेल्प मिल रही है किसी भी तरीके से, so that is respect for me.
Thank you so much, Daksh. Like it's a very crisp and a short answer, but has a very deep meaning to it. Moving on, I would like to listen views from Shanmukha. What is your view of respect?
हाय एवरीवन, गुड इवनिंग। मेरे हिसाब से रेस्पेक्ट ऐसी चीज है ना कि मैं जो हूँ, जैसा हूँ, सही कर रहा हूँ, गलत कर रहा हूँ, जो भी कर रहा हूँ, मेरे को बताने वाला हो, तो वो जो चीज होती है ना, वो मेरे लिए रेस्पेक्ट है। एक्सट्रीम्स में ना जाए और सेंटर ऑफ चीज में रहे, तो दैट इज रेस्पेक्ट अकॉर्डिंग टू मी।
Great, that's great. Thank you so much. Such a beautiful answer. Moving on to Monica. What is respect for you?
Hi everyone. Actually, thanks for Diabesties to giving this opportunity. In my view, that respect is like we have the right to express our opinions, not just because of Tuckman, we are not restricted to express our opinions. We have to express our opinions and it has to be validated by as like normal peoples. And it has to be respected.
Okay, thank you so much. Now, Kanak, please, what's your opinion on respect?
Good evening, everyone. For me, respect is considering someone, understanding them, accepting them the way they are, and appreciating them for their efforts.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that beautiful answer. Now, as we know that we have four panelists here who have different stories and have given us a meaning of respect, like, and their stories give us a different perspective of respect. So, I have questions for all our panelists, and I would like to begin with Daksh. Okay, so Daksh, how did you choose such an unconventional profession like bodybuilding, and how was your decision respected being a type 1?
So डायग्नोज होने के बाद ऐसा कुछ प्लान नहीं, कुछ भी ऐसा प्लान नहीं था, वही ट्रेडिशनल पाथ फॉलो कर रहा था कि जैसे भी नॉर्मली चल रहा है सब कुछ। बट एक टीनेज में सबके आते, चाहे वो डायबिटिक है नहीं है, और सबके आते कि एक बॉडी बनानी है, ऐसा समथिंग कुछ सबके साथ होता है ऐसा। सो वैसे मेरे अंदर था, बट एक और फैक्टर था कि आई एम डायबिटिक, ओके, एंड आई वाज अफ्रेड टू टॉक अबाउट इट विद अदर्स। सो कुछ रिजल्ट्स नहीं थे क्योंकि आई वाज नॉट अवेयर अबाउट माय डायबिटीज आल्सो। सो at that time, around 4 or 5 years back, my HbA1c was 14.5 something. So but anyhow, like from last 3 years, I'm being into professional bodybuilding. It's not that easy with diabetes, but yeah, कुछ रिस्पेक्ट नहीं मिलते कई बार क्योंकि you are not following that traditional path, right? So आप बाकियों से थोड़ा अलग चल रहे हो। So कुछ आपको कोई आई थिंक सपोर्ट भी नहीं करते इसमें एट द स्टार्टिंग, बट राइट नाउ माय फैमिली इज क्वाइट सपोर्टिंग, my friends are supportive, so yeah, it's pretty much good now.
Daksh, from what we have understood is that, somewhere your choice is respected. Abhi puri tarike se nahi, maybe people still question that कि why bodybuilding after being a type 1, but we feel that you are being supported. Being supported, for me at least, is giving respect to someone. What Kanak very rightly said, and when Monica very rightly said that even if I have opinion on a certain thing, that needs to be respected, that needs to be accepted. May it be अभी किसी को एप्पल नहीं पसंद है तो वो उनकी प्रॉब्लम है, right? But everyone needs to respect the fact that I like apple. We don't have to fight for that. So thank you so much, Daksh, for just giving us an insight into, how it is to choose an unconventional profession and yet demanding that right to be respected, despite of living with a chronic condition and, then choosing a very unconventional profession around it. So thank you so much. Rasmeet?
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Daksh, for sharing your opinion and your story. And thank you so much, Deekshadi, for summing it up. Moving on, I have my question for Monica. So my question is, you had the choice of marrying a type 1 and you made the choice. So what have been the pros and cons of it? And was your choice respected at both micro and macro level?
First of all, it has. Hello, is that everyone? I'm audible to everyone?
Yes, yes, you are.
Yes. It's I feel like it has not been respected by the society actually. It is, even though it was a very big struggle, and it's not been validated by even by my parents, but I had made the choice. That doesn't make much difference for me, but being a parent, okay, they have their own concerns, but still I could able to convince them. When it comes to the society level, it was not validated by them. I have been and also it was not respected even actually. When it comes to pros and cons, no, I don't feel much like cons, something like that. It was very normal, and I'm very happy with my partner actually. He is very good at his self management. Being as a type 1, even every type 1 can manage selfly. There doesn't mean that some person needs to be nursing them for continuous throughout their life. And I'm not here to nurse them. We are in love. We are in a relationship for more than 10 years, and we made it, and we are loving it. We are loving the way we each other, and the respect I have to my partner towards. And it was not a big deal for me, and it is very quite normal, I think. That's it from my side.
Monica, thank you so much. You know what I really liked about a certain thing that stuck with me, that this is, I don't have to nurse him. And a lot of people have this misconception. बहुत लोगों को ये लगता है कि if you are marrying a type 1, आपको उनका constantly ध्यान रखना पड़ेगा. And the message that you're giving out is very, very strong, that a person living with type 1, we might not be completely normal, as in our pancreas do not work. We have to, do a lot of self management that way. But we can live a normal life, and we can marry another person who might or might not be type 1. That's our choice. And then your choice also of marrying. A lot of people just take a step back, even if they are not, even if they are in love, that we would not marry because you are having type 1. So, another message that I found very powerful was that, it does not matter. It's a very normal thing to marry a person living with type 1. A lot of people feel that this is out of the blues, extraordinary, and whatnot. So when I remember when we were listening to Monica's story, Rasmeet and I, the first thing she said, she's like, this is not, extraordinary. This is very ordinary fact. And I want everyone to realize that even if a person not living with diabetes is marrying a person living with diabetes, it's not extraordinary. It's as normal as marrying a person who does not have a chronic condition. So thank you so much for putting it so beautifully, Monica. Rasmeet?
Yes, thank you so much, both of you. So we have heard two stories. Now moving forward to the third story, I have a question for Kana. So as a T1D couple, what challenges you had to face while becoming a parent, when choosing to become a parent?
The first challenge I faced was on the 5th day of my engagement itself. जब मैं और my husband was having a conversation about being a parent, तब उन्होंने मुझे बताया कि लोग उनको एडवाइस करते रहते हैं कि ना आप अपना बेबी नहीं करना, बेटर यू अडॉप्ट वन. एंड आई वाज लाइक, क्यों हम अपना बेबी नहीं कर सकते? तो ही सेड कि आप टाइप 1 हो, मैं टाइप 1 हूँ, तो देयर आर चांसेस कि हमारे बच्चे को भी टाइप 1 हो जाएगा. सो आई वाज लाइक, सो व्हाट, even you were diagnosed as a kid, I was diagnosed as a kid, our parents brought us up very respectfully, so why can't we? और उनके कंपैरिजन में we are very much aware, educated and आज टेक्नोलॉजी से तो हम भी कर लेंगे. तो ही वाज लाइक, नहीं, लोग बोलते हैं कि हम अडॉप्ट करें तो बेटर रहेगा. मैंने कहा अडॉप्ट करेंगे तो फिर उसमें कौन गारंटी देता है कि जिस बच्चे को हम अडॉप्ट कर रहे हैं उसको कोई डिसीज नहीं होगा. एंड द थिंग टू बी कंसिडर्ड इज के अगर उसको कोई न्यू ही डिसीज हो गया अदर देन डायबिटीज, जिसकी हम लोगों को ABCD भी नहीं पता, तो कितना मुश्किल होगा हम लोगों को उसको मैनेज करना। तो ऐसे अगर देयर आर चांसेस, आई एग्री के यू बीइंग टाइप 1, मी बीइंग टाइप 1, गॉड ब्लेस अ चाइल्ड माइट हैव टाइप 1, तो still we can manage, we have technologies, we are aware, so we'll manage. So there he said, yes Kanak, 1 minute beta. Yes Kanak, you have a point, and he respected my decision ke ha, we'll go for it. But unfortunately, in my first pregnancy, during my third trimester, I had a mishap. तो फिर से वही हो गया कि अब second chance नहीं लेंगे. And I was like, kyun? I am not the only one who is having a mishap. There are women जिनको first trimester में भी mishap हो जाता है. I need one more chance. But again, मेरे parents भी were not ready to give me a second chance. I understand, and मतलब कि they had a fear of losing their daughter, and I respect their feelings. लेकिन even I have feelings. I am type 1, but still I have feelings. और हर woman की तरह मेरी भी इच्छा है to have a own child. So just one chance I asked them for, and I assured them that I'll be using the latest technologies available like CGM and a pump, and things will work well compared to last time. So thankfully, again, my decision was respected by my parents, my partner, and we opt for a pump. And I was wearing a CGM on my arm. And then another phase of challenges began, where people, when looking at me, वो मुझे बोलते थे कि सी बेचारी कितना कुछ कर रही है for having their own child. She's wearing a CGM on her arm, carrying a pump on her waist, and I was मतलब so called sympathy वो लोग मुझे show करने लगे. तो literally what I felt at that time was कि instead of showing sympathy, please show respect. Against all odds, I have decided to try again. Please show respect that I have not given up. Please show respect that I am wearing a CGM, carrying a pump to manage my blood sugars. Please show respect towards my husband, that he is ready to bear the expenses for using these technologies. So finally, thankfully, we got Jadish, but Jadish got diagnosed at a very early age of just 13 months. And I remember we were in hospital, and मेरे husband आए, उन्होंने मुझे बताया कि किसी ने उनको बोला कि जयदीश जब बड़ा होगा ना, तो he'll blame you, he'll hate you for being diabetic. तो मैंने कहा यार what is this? मैंने कहा see, we both have a good family history of diabetes. तो मैंने कहा do any of us hate our parents कि आपने मुझे diabetes दिया है? He said no. तो मैंने कहा why will our baby hate us? We respect our parents के उन्होंने they did everything they can do, and हम भी अपने बेटे के लिए वही करेंगे जो हम कर सकते हैं. We have CGMs and all, हम उसका यूज करेंगे. तो I assured him कि he'll respect that in spite of knowing that there are chances we'll have a type 1 child, still we brought him to the world. We took decision कि हाँ we'll be having our own child, and Jadish was there. He will respect us for taking good care of him. He'll respect us that we accepted him that हाँ अगर diabetes होगा भी, so we'll respect our child and we'll bring him up. Yes. हाँ. So that was हाँ, yes. So that was my type of story. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kana. Can we see Jayadish? We'd like to say hi to him. Hello. Hi. Hi. No, I think, Kanak, thank you so much for sharing in detail. I mean, I know every type 1 has had and have their shares of struggle, but message is very clear. We don't demand sympathy from anyone. We demand respect. Respect the choice that we are doing so much for ourselves to keep ourselves alive. And जो मुझे एक और चीज बहुत ज्यादा लगी है आपकी स्टोरी में, the story changes when you are supported by people who are close to you. So आपकी family and your husband and your in-laws, because we don't live in isolation. We live in a society where everyone is interconnected, especially in our Indian culture. So just having that support system and them respecting your choice or whatever choice you made of having Jagdish and uh, marrying a person living with type 1 or not marrying a person living with type 1, it needs to be respected. So I hope whoever is watching this, if you're not living with type 1, all we ask for is basic respect. Don't show us sympathy. We have gotten a lot of sympathy since the longest period of our time. So thank you so much, Kanak, for sharing. Rasmeet, again over to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Kanak, for sharing this story with all of us. So, as Dikshadi mentioned about support and acceptance and our choices being respected, we have yet another panelist, Shanmukha, with us. So, I have a question for you, which goes like, what influenced you to take up research as a career, and how has your decision been respected and accepted at the same time?
वेल रिसर्च क्यों लिया? जैसे कि न्यूटन का है ना कि अगर एप्पल नहीं गिरता तो अब तक ग्रेविटी नहीं मिलता, तो वैसा ही मेरा केस है। अगर डायबिटीज नहीं होता तो लिटरली बिलीव मैं रिसर्च लेता ही नहीं। लाइक मुझे पता भी नहीं था कि रिसर्च क्या था। 9 साल का था जब डायबिटीज डिटेक्ट हुआ था। मुझे अभी भी वो दिन याद है जहाँ मैं अपने साइंस एग्जाम के लिए प्रिपेयर कर रहा था, एट द सेम टाइम फैंसी ड्रेस कंपटीशन के लिए जहाँ मैं नील आर्मस्ट्रांग बनने वाला था। आई हैड लिटरली ग्रेट फैसिनेशन टूवर्ड्स स्पेस। लाइक मैं मरता था स्पेस के लिए कि भाई ऐसा होता है वैसा होता है ये सब करके। बट उस दिन पता चला कि हाँ कि आई वाज डिटेक्टेड विद टाइप 1 डायबिटीज। तो मम्मी आके रोते रोते बोलती है कि बेटा तू कल स्कूल नहीं जाएगा, कल तू एस्ट्रोनॉट नहीं बनेगा करके। लाइक लिटरली आई वाज शॉक्ड। मैं सोच के रखा कि भाई मैं ऐसा बोलूंगा वैसा बोलूंगा ये करूंगा वो करूंगा एंड एवरीथिंग जो भी सोचा था कुछ हुआ ही नहीं। फिर बाद में खुद को सोचने लगा कि यार क्यों है ये, क्यों डायबिटीज ये वो। सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट ये है कि मैं खुद को रिस्पेक्ट नहीं देता था। मैं ये सोचता था कि हाँ डायबिटीज है मैं कुछ नहीं कर सकता, डायबिटीज है मैं ये कुछ नहीं कर सकता, डायबिटीज की वजह से ये वो ऐसा करके मैं खुद को कभी रिस्पेक्ट नहीं दिया था कुछ टाइम तक। बट फिर उसके बाद ये पता चला कि नहीं, डायबिटीज होना कुछ गलत बात नहीं है, इट्स नथिंग रॉन्ग। फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल आई हैड टू रिस्पेक्ट माई सेल्फ। अगर मैं बाकी लोगों से रिस्पेक्ट एक्सपेक्ट करता हूँ तो खुद को रिस्पेक्ट देना चाहिए ना, कि डायबिटीज से तो क्या कुछ भी कर सकता हूँ मैं। तो वो पर्टिकुलर थिंग जो है नाइट फ्लिप द स्विच इन मी। फिर वो ऐसा हुआ कि मैं ऐसा सोचने लगा कि डायबिटीज हुआ तो क्यों हुआ, कैसे हुआ, ये होने से क्या होता है। तो वैसा धीरे धीरे से रिसर्च के साइड जाना चालू किया मैंने। और अभी रिसर्च कर रहा हूँ कि इसको और कैसे बेटर किया जा सकता है। बीइंग अ टाइप 1 डायबिटीज इज नॉट अ कर्स, बट उसमें थोड़े कॉम्प्लिकेशंस होते हैं, उसे ईज कैसे कर सकते हैं उस पर रिसर्च करने का मैं सोचा है फिर। तो या दिस इज माय रिसर्च जर्नी। तो माय पेरेंट्स लिटरली मतलब उन्होंने जो सपोर्ट दिया ना, अगर वो लोग नहीं होते ना मैं इतना ऊपर तक नहीं आ सकता था। इंक्लूडिंग माय फ्रेंड्स, उन्होंने जो जिस तरीके से जैसे बताया कि सिंपैथी नहीं दी उन्होंने मेरे को। उन्होंने देखा कि हाँ ये बंदा है इसको डायबिटीज है तो क्या, ये भी अपने ऐसा एक इंसान है, ही इज ऑल्सो एन ह्यूमन बीइंग, all the human rights and everything also falls under his jurisdiction and everything। तो वो चीज मैं मानता हूँ कि लिटरली आई गॉट रियली गुड फ्रेंड्स एंड पेरेंट्स। सो आई वुड से फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल रिस्पेक्ट योरसेल्फ। कोई आपको रिस्पेक्ट तुम चाहते हो कोई तुम्हें रिस्पेक्ट करे तो खुद को रिस्पेक्ट करना चालू करो, तब सब लोग पूरी दुनिया करेगी रिस्पेक्ट आपको फिर।
Wow, I think this needs to be given so much of credit that it's very important. हम लोगों को जब diagnosis होता है, I think everyone who is living a type 1 would agree with me on the panel and whoever is watching this as well that हम लोग ना कहीं अपनी respect खो देते हैं अपने आप के प्रति. We start feeling worthless. We start feeling that we are not good enough because we have a chronic condition. And that's very important that you need to respect yourself first. And what Shanmukha very rightly said, कि अगर आप पहले अपने आप को respect दोगे तो सब आपको respect करेंगे. Everyone will respect your choices. And even if they don't, it won't bother you that much. Because you are very, जिसको एक word कल I was talking to someone and we used a word sampuran, that you feel very complete within yourself. But that comes from respecting yourself. So I actually have a question for all of you before we end the session. I think this has been great, and just last thing, आप लोगों का experience जो भी रहा है, your stories, your narratives, right? I want to understand what is the message that you want to give out to the masses, whoever is watching or will watch this particular live stream today, in context of right to respect for a person living with type 1 diabetes. So I think we'll start with Monica.
The message I would like to convey to the people who are watching either type 1 or not a non-type 1, the first thing is we must respect everyone equally if it is a non-type 1. And for type 1, as like Shanmugh said, we have to respect ourselves. We have to validate our own feelings, first of all, either emotionally, physically, or career-wise, or relationship-wise, whatever it is. You cannot restrict yourself just because you have type 1. So first you have to overcome those things unless until others will not, others viewpoint will not affect you in that much sense. Second thing is like, we don't, as a type 1, we don't want pittiness from the societies or sympathy things as said. We just need a hope, that's all. The hope can make a drastic change in the type 1's life. The second thing as like, third thing that Kanak said, or the question which was put front in me while I was expressing like I would like to marry a type 1 was like, what if your child gets type 1? That question was put front in me. So I was like, I don't know whether will my it's been just an 8 month and we are not having a baby, but still, if I cannot prevent my child as it is autoimmune, the saddest truth is people or society comes to criticize. No, they don't even know what type 1 is. Without knowing, they are ready to criticize whatever it is. So the thing is like, I cannot prevent my future baby from type 1 or any other chronic conditions, not just because of type 1, but I can make the surroundings or the society aware of type 1. I can prevent my child from the thing which I faced, the criticism which I faced. No, I could prevent my child from that by spreading awareness or spreading like positivity, optimism, like such things. So that is the main thing I would like to say. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Monica. And it's very true. But type 1 is an autoimmune condition. It can happen to anyone at any point of time at any given age. So I have never understood why people criticize parents who are themselves living with type 1 कि आपके बच्चे को type 1 होने के chances है. That's a choice that they are making. And that's a chance they are taking. And it can again happen to anyone. So thank you so much, Monica. You want to say something? You want to add something, right?
The society is very much interested to pull down others and to make them feel guilty. Actually, I have faced these situations because they made even my partner or my in-laws families, or like they made them to feel guilty because you guys are having type 1 and you have type 1. How can you spoil other girls' life? All those things. But me and my partner believe that we are normal. Because if any other person, no, they could easily fell into the trap, like feeling guilty. Okay, I know, as I love you, no, I cannot spoil your life, all those things. But me and my partner believe that we are normal and we could make this happen. And I have huge respect for Kanak actually.
You have.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Monica. Since you have spoken about Kanak, what is the message that you want to send out to the masses about right to respect, especially for a person living with type 1? You're on mute, Kanak. Meanwhile, can we go to Daksh?
Yeah. I think the maximum सब कुछ मोनिका ने कवर कर लिया है जो भी था, but still मेरे लिए starting में when I was diagnosed, so मेरे को भी काफी डिसरिस्पेक्ट मिली. कुछ लोग मेरे पे शायद हंस भी रहे थे कि यार अब तू पेस्ट्री नहीं खा सकता, तो मतलब लिटरली वो मेरे को पोक कर रही थी इस चीज पे, तो अब ये नहीं कर सकता, और शुगर शुगर करके कुछ लोग मेरे को बुला भी रहे थे, तो सो आई यूज दैट क्रिटिसिज्म एज अ बूस्ट टू बिल्ड माई सेल्फ, राइट। सो उसको हमेशा नेगेटिव में ले रहा हूँ, उसको अपने आप से बूस्ट भी कर सकते हैं। सो एंड प्लस वन मोर thing to the type ones, I think mass में most of the people complain about their management. I think if we learn about ourselves, we learn about our body, how do our body react to different things. I think we can manage. And जब हम खुद knowledgeable हो जाते हैं इन चीजों के बारे में, I think then we are ready to debate with other people, and when we are knowledgeable, I think we will receive that respect from others also. So जब खुद को कुछ पता नहीं होता, तो खुद भी हम I think चुप ही रहते हैं, कुछ बोल नहीं पाते हैं, जो स्टार्टिंग सबके पास होता है। एज सुन एज हम कुछ इनके बारे में सीखते हैं, सो वो रिस्पेक्ट भी हमें खुद में ही आती है कि ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है, लोग गलत हैं, हम उनको गलत प्रूव भी कर सकते हैं इस टाइम पे। सो दिस इज माय ओपिनियन।
Thank you so much, Dakshan. The message is very clear that awareness is power, knowledge is power, and respect comes from that awareness and knowledge. Thank you so much, Daksh. Okay, Kanak.
Actually, my point is already taken that you should first respect yourself being a being diabetic, and the world will respect you. And it's just a hormonal imbalance. Sorry, it's just a hormonal disorder. It's gifted by God. Just respect His decision. And the moment you start respecting yourself being a diabetic, the world will definitely respect you. And don't hesitate. Yes, beta. हाँ ठीक है, and Jadish please 1 minute बेटा। हाँ तो जो don't hesitate using the technologies के Jadish 1 minute please। So don't hesitate using the technologies. See, these days pump is far expensive than I'm sorry, but he's disturbing me. So just हाँ बेटा, I'm sorry, but he's disturbing me, so I'll end up with thank you note. And
Thank
all
you
the
so
best,
much.
and God bless you.
Thank you so much, Kanak. Kanak gave a very clear message. I think Monica already covered it, but she reiterated it कि अपने आप को पहले respect करना बहुत जरूरी है. And started by Shanmukha, reiterated by Monica and by Kanak and by Daksh. And we all second that. So lastly, Shanmukha, over to you.
बस मुझे यही बोलना है कि वी ऑल आर होमो सेपियंस। ऐसा कोई है नहीं जिसको कोई डिजीज ना हो या डिसऑर्डर ना हो, और मतलब वी ऑल आर इक्वल, वी ऑल आर सेम। कोई ऐसा बोले कि भाई मैं बड़ा हूँ मैं छोटा हूँ, वो गलत है। सब इक्वल है, सब रिस्पेक्टेबल पर्सनालिटीज है। जैसे कि अगर बात रही टाइप 1 डायबिटीज की, कमल हासन ग्रेट साउथ इंडियन एक्टर, ही वाज अ टाइप 1 डायबिटिक। उसको ऐसा कभी मतलब हेट मिला नहीं, और मिला भी हो तो वो रुका नहीं कभी। देखो हेटर्स हर बना हेट, ऐसा कोई है नहीं जिंदगी में कि भाई सब लोग तुम्हें प्यार करे सब कुछ करे। हेटर्स जो है वो हेट करने वाले हैं, बट तुम खुद इतना स्ट्रांग बनो, तुम खुद को इतना रिस्पेक्ट करो कि भाई जो लोग तुम्हें हेट कर रहे हो ना, उनका भी हेट लव में क्रिएट मतलब कन्वर्ट हो जाए। सो दैट्स माय मैसेज, बी स्ट्रांग गाइस, वी ऑल आर सेम।
Thank you so much, Shanmukha. And I think on this note, we are going to end. Rasmeet, any last notes from your side? Any
I think,
reflections?
yeah, I don't have any questions. I think everything has been answered so beautifully by all our panelists. So,
Right.
yeah.
Okay. So,
The,
any
sorry.
reflections from your side? Anything what is your takeaway?
My takeaway is that like respect yourself as like the gist of all of this live session. What I could get was, and honestly, I have seen they were the coolest and the wisest panelists we have had. So I got a very clear message: respect yourself, and the world will respect you. Management is the key, and I think that respect and it starts with acceptance. So that is all I have to say. Thank you so much, everyone, for who joined, and to all our panelists. Thank you so much.
So, on ending notes, I'd like to say that, I'm going to use be type 1 of a kind from a context of right to respect, because it also talks about that, you accept yourself and you believe that you are type 1 of a kind. So all our panelists are type 1 of a kind, and whosoever is watching this is also type 1 of a kind. So thank you everyone for joining us today. In the panel, whosoever is watching us, we are extremely thankful to everyone for your support. And we are looking forward to seeing you in other workshops, in other panels, as our viewers, as our participants. And always remember, be type 1 of a kind. Thank you so much. Have a great evening. Have a great